Happy game day, Boston Celtics fans. We are now officially entering into Game 3 of the NBA Finals with the Boston Celtics having a 2-0 lead over the Dallas Mavericks. But this time, they're going to be playing the Mavs in their home turf. They are taking on the Dallas Mavericks in American Airlines Arena tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which means we will be live on Celtics Today at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Come hang out with us in our pregame. I promise it'll be 110% fun while talking about your Boston Celtics. Let's go ahead and get into the Game 3 preview that we have here today. But first things first, you guys, I want to test your knowledge and I want to test your skills. Predict the score of Game 3 of the NBA Finals. I said my prediction towards the back half of the show. You guys are going to want to stick around for that. But drop your comments down below or feel free to tweet them at me at AR Barefoot as well. All right, we're going to turn this show into a little bit different style here. So I'm going to give Foot's keys to the victory. And as you guys can see, I got Smitty here to my left or right. I'm not sure. I can't tell. So he's going to give his keys to victories in the back half of the show. So first and foremost, I love the fact that they're up 2-0. Why? Because you never know what can happen in the NBA Finals. With Kristaps Porzingis being day-to-day now, it does really bode well that they're up 2-0 now. Now they have a little bit of leniency. Do I think they still have the opportunity to possibly take it in 4? Yeah, I do. I still think they're the better team. But they do have a lot of things they need to work on from Game 2 into Game 3. Number 1, you got to shoot better than 26% from downtown. What the F is that? That is disgusting. And they didn't take as many great shots or open shots, Smitty. But nonetheless, we've said this all season long, if they don't make their 3, they will not win. Somehow they figured out a way to win despite their 3 dropping that badly. But that has got to change because I have a really strong feeling that a Washington, an Irving, or maybe even a Hardy is going to have a good role-playing type of game at home.
Yeah, well, one thing that I thought was particularly interesting about this is that the Celtics, we've known all season, they live and die by the three-pointer, right? But they shoot this percentage in Game 2, and they still come out with the victory.
Right.
I see this as a big, like a literal win in the column, but also a win in the sense that the Celtics have found a way to compete and beat the Dallas Mavericks in a multitude of ways. They found a way to get inside the paint and score efficiently at the rim. They found a way to create turnovers from Dallas. They used their defense to create more offense and then find those threes when they came about. I think they did get their fair share of open looks, but they just ended up not going in. I think if you just play your game, these shots are eventually going to fall. The law of averages say you're going to make more.
Right.
The Celtics have been a great three-point shooting team all season, and I don't think that shooting this percentage in Game 2 should make them say, oh, let's shoot less threes in Game 3 because
no, just shoot more effectively.
Yeah, just shoot it more efficiently. The shots are going to fall. Three-point variance, like I've been stressing it this whole time. You shoot more, you make more, and it's a math game in today's NBA.
And even then, we talked about on the show yesterday is that the Celtics were 20 for 27 at the rim in Game 2. They were 15 for 15 at the rim in Game 1. So like you said, they are finding other areas to score. But I do not want to see 26 in the box score. Maybe I'm just more of a perfectionist. This just looks ugly to me. That just tells me you were shooting so ugly in Game 2. If you found a way to win, I will have less complaints. But I don't want to test that again. I don't want to see if you can make it happen again and shoot like that and still win Game 3.
And before we move on to the second one, just quick piece of credit you got to give to the Celtics because the Mavs also shot 23% from 3. So you defended the three-pointer very well on that end. So you kind of could afford to have your off shooting night in Game 2. I
mean, you got to give credit to Kyrie Irving there, going 0 for 8. I mean, that takes talent. That takes talent to miss every single three-point shot that you have had so far. But who's to say? He can always pop off tonight. I know he is capable of draining the rock from downtown. But let me go ahead and talk about the other superstar on this team real quick, the throwing bodies at Luka. I don't think the Celtics managed this very well in Game 2 like they did in Game 1. I didn't see multiple different defenders going at Luka until the fourth quarter when it really felt like make or break at that time. Yes, they held the lead for probably 80% of this ball game, and they did look pretty okay other than that fadeaway that nobody had an answer for from Luka. But I think the reason why they held him to 30 points and a double-double, not even a triple-double in Game 1 is because you were throwing Holiday, White, Pritchard, Tatum, Brown just kept going at Luka with different defenders.
Yeah, the Celtics have been they've been okay with playing the one-on-one game against Luka. Yeah, they've sent a couple doubles.
Don't do that.
I think it's been fine. Honestly, that's the approach that the Oklahoma City Thunder took in that series, and yeah, they ended up losing that 1 in 6. But I don't think that they had enough capable bodies. Yes, they had Lou Dort and Jalen Williams and maybe a couple other guys to throw at him. But we saw that the Timberwolves clearly didn't have that defensive strategy down. They had to blitz Luka Doncic because they know they didn't have enough one-on-one defenders to guard him. The Celtics do. They have Jaylen Brown. They have Drew Holiday.
They do.
Even throwing Tatum. And, you don't want to have Al Horford on him for a multitude of plays, but they felt comfortable with having Horford on Luka because Luka hasn't been super effective on it. Even Peyton Pritchard last game, ate Luka's lunch a little bit, stealing the ball from him, playing good defense on Luka's post-ups, which is something I couldn't say that I was entirely expecting out of Peyton Pritchard, but I'm thoroughly welcome the great defense that he's played. You just got to be able to switch everything. When Luka's trying to get somebody on a screen, it's funny because early on in Game 2, he actually was looking to hunt Jason Tatum, and he actually got a couple of buckets by JT. But as the game went on, Tatum started to play better defense on Luka, and they started to stray away from just looking to get that switch every time. I'm comfortable with switching everything on these Luka ball screens and just taking your chances with playing one-on-one because I think the Celtics have the defenders to do it.
I do think they are successful in ISO with Luka because they do switch up their defenders, but they have to continue to switch up the defenders or else Luka is going to figure out a way like he did in the first half of just dribble drive and then do his fadeaway, which nobody has an answer for. What I liked from the Celtics was more towards the second half when Luka would try to drive because they took that fadeaway away. And then you have a double team of Al Horford and Jason Tatum who collapsed in, and it forced Luka Doncic to, there was one play where he just literally closed his eyes and chucked it up behind him, hoping somebody would catch it, and it was a turnover. Or he had to kick it out in the last seconds on the shot clock, would be giving it to Derek Jones Jr. or PJ Washington. I liked the double team personally down low more towards the second half. Not to say the Celtics couldn't play ISO against Luka if they wanted, but I feel like if you just keep mixing it up, that's going to throw Luka off the best.
Gotta make him work. We know he's playing through injury right now, and you gotta make him work for every single bucket, every single stat that he's going to put up on the board.
And the good news is the Boston Celtics do tend to play better on the road. I'm not sure why it happens, but that is their MO. They're 6-0 right now in the NBA playoffs. On the road, they have not lost. They're going into Dallas, Texas, in the American Airlines Arena. I talked to Jeffrey Cooperstein, who's a lifelong Mavericks fan. He's a host of Mavericks Today, and I was like, I feel like there aren't like true Mavericks fans out there, like crazed Mavs fans. So I feel like most of the fan base here lies with the Dallas Cowboys, or when you go into MSG, you're going to have true crazed New York Knicks fans. You come into TD Garden, you have true crazed Boston Celtics fans. So I'm really intrigued to see what that level of enthusiasm is going to be in the American Airlines Center. But first and foremost, just take it on the road. If you win these 2 road games, you are done until 2024-25 NBA regular season. That is all you have got to do.
Yeah, we got to be able to play through the crowd. I mean, we saw that Kyrie Irving may have or may not have been rattled by the TD Garden home crowd. Luka obviously was jawing with Wick Grusbeck, the owner, there at courtside.
Who didn't even know.
So, yeah, it's just one of those things you have to weather the storm, and the Celtics have been able to do that. I think the Indiana series was pretty indicative of how well that they're able to kind of weather a hostile crowd.
Right.
Indiana was a great environment for that, and all those games came down to the wire, and the Celtics have been fantastic in clutch time tonight.
Right.
That's really where you have to worry about the road environment kind of taking over in that sense. It's in the clutch, and the Celtics have been fantastic in the clutch all postseason long. Just got to see if they can continue it on in Game 3.
Knock on wood. Just don't be frazzled and play the ball that just like Boston does. All right, here is our programming schedule coming up as well. I know a lot of you guys have been tweeting at me, reaching out in the comment section. Allie, when are you guys going to live? What's going to look like? And all of that jazz. So we are going to have a live show on Thursday in between Game 3 and Game 4 at noon Eastern Time right here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. If this does get pushed in between Game 5 and Game 6, we will have a live Q&A on Tuesday, 6/18, and in between 6 and 7. If it does go to Game 6 and 7, we will be live on that Tuesday in between those 2 final games. But I'll tell you what, Smitty, I think if the Boston Celtics also do end up winning in 4 or 5, we might even still go live next Tuesday to talk about just have a good time celebrating the Boston Celtics if they win the NBA Finals. How about that?
I'm a fan.
I'm a fan.
I'm in.
So we will be live on Celtics Today for the actual game. Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, Game 6, Game 7, Game 19. How many games it takes to win Banner 18, I don't care. We will be live for every single one of them. We have gained an enormous amount of subscribers in the first 2 games. We have gained over 3,100 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Keep hitting that sub button and join us on this journey. Tyler Smith, your 3 keys to victory, my dear sir.
All right, let's get it started off here. And these are all kind of things that the Celtics have already done. Let me preface these keys to victory with the fact that the Celtics have a game plan going into these basketball games, and they're playing a brand of basketball where it's, just take Dallas defenders off the drive, make Luka do everything, and you take your chances with guys like P.J. Washington, Derek Jones, Dante Exum, we saw in Game 2, and maybe we'll see Tim Hardaway Jr. in Game 3 and beyond. Right. You take your chances with those guys hitting outside shots, making big plays for Dallas. Yes, and that's obviously going to come more so at home. Role players always play better at home, and you can expect that from Dallas. But the Celtics aren't really looking to be switching much up right now. They're not turning their game plan on its head heading into Game 3. So these are all 3 things that, in my opinion, the Celtics have to continue to do over this series.
Right.
So first, we're going to start with driving and drawing defenders, and that starts with Jason Tatum. That's why he's right there. He's kind of been the initiator of offense for Boston, right? Yes, he took 22 shots in Game 2. He only made 6 of them. He's been shooting the ball inefficiently. Hopefully that comes out. Law of averages says it will. And Tatum shoots the ball more efficiently from the floor. But he has done a great job taking the ball to the basket. He's finished a couple layups at the rim. He's blown a couple, whatever. Those are going to fall as well, like Tatum said. But the best part about that is Dallas is bringing so much help. There's so much attention being put on Jason Tatum when he has dribble drive moments. And that has just caused for the Celtics 5-out offense to flourish. Drew Holiday's been open in the corner a ton. Derek White's been open in the corner a ton. Al Horford's been out on the perimeter. Jaylen Brown, you name it, Celtics got it. They have weapons from the perimeter. And Dallas just hasn't been able to recover in time.
No.
Their defense breaks down when these dribble drives are made, and it just makes the Celtics' life so much easier. They're not really playing with an insanely complicated flow of an offense. It's take the ball to the cup, find open shooters on the outside, or guess what? You have a layup at the rim. So I think that the Celtics just need to continue that mantra on offense, and then they'll be fine. One
thing I did notice as well is that they tried to shake it up a little bit and maybe not draw as many defenders on Jason Tatum in Game 2, but what they ended up really sucking at, I think, the Mavericks, in my opinion, was they didn't take account for Drew Holiday, who is so sneaky. He's such a quick ball player that he also would cut down low to the basket once Jason Tatum was cutting down low to the basket. So you've now got 2 defenders guarding Jason Tatum with a quick, easy lob underhand to give Drew Holiday to be successful at that rim as well. So I think the Celtics did a good job of adjusting to those drawing defenders. And even if there's not a kick out, it looks like Holiday is always there for an outlet pass as well.
Yeah, no, you mentioned it. I actually meant to say this as well. The cutting, the moving off ball is also very key when you talk about this key to victory. Drew Holiday, a ton of those cuts to the basket were enormous. Kristaps Porzingis has had a couple when he's been out there as well. Jaylen Brown. So yeah, keep cutting to the basket. Yeah. When Tatum's faced with help defenders down low, and you're going to get more efficient looks at the rim.
I hate when they stand still.
No, yeah.
I lose my ish.
It's not good basketball. Standing around playing iso ball, it's just not good. It's not good basketball at the end of the day. Now, second key to victory for me, continue to put pressure on the backcourt and create turnovers. They've made Kyrie Irving very uncomfortable in this series with the defense that Drew Holiday's played. And I'll even shout out, because Drew Holiday said it, the white guys are playing defense too. Sam Hauser played a great couple of possessions on Kyrie through games 1 and 2. Peyton Pritchard has played good defense on both Kyrie and Luka Doncic, which is something that we're welcoming as well. And create these turnovers. Luka Doncic through 2 games has 12 turnovers. The Celtics are turning defense into offense, and it's just making the stress of Dallas scoring in the half court so much more heavy. The Celtics have been able to just get the Mavs out of the flow of an offense. Luka's kind of had to take the team 1-on-5, and it's resulted in him, like you said, that backwards.
I don't know what that was
that he had. That was wild. And then, obviously when he's not paying attention, kind of has tunnel vision. You got things like Peyton Pritchard coming from behind, stealing the ball from him, and the Celtics are out in the break the other way. So putting pressure on the backcourt, making life difficult for them, throwing the occasional blitz out there, throwing the occasional double team just to throw them off is fine. But as long as they have good on-ball defense, showing their hands, backs to the baseline, spreading, just shuffling their feet and not gambling too much, then they're going to, just not give Luka and Kyrie the easiest avenues to either get to the rim and score or find a shooter on the outside.
Well, I said this after game one. There's no way in hell Kyrie Irving scores about 12 points and goes 0 for 5 from the 3 ever again in the series.
No,
and then boom, game 2, he has 16 points and 0 for 3?
Yeah.
So I do think that is credit to what the defense has already done in that backcourt, but once again, you're coming into their home turf now. Kyrie has already sprinkled his magic all over American Airlines Center, so it could be a very different ball game here. Like you said, just keep doing what's been working.
And that kind of does segue into my third key to victory here is eliminating the lob threat, which Dallas has been so effective at through the postseason, as well as their corner three-point attempts. Now, when you talk about their corner three-pointer attempts, this is where it draws back to the other keys to victory, right? Putting pressure on the backcourt of Dallas. The Celtics' ability to guard Luka and Kyrie one-on-one for most of these games has eliminated the need for help defenders to shade off of a guy like Derrick Jones and shade off of a guy like P.J. Washington in these corners. And those defenders can kind of stay home and be able to be ready to guard those two players in the corner if the ball does get swung over that way. So as the game goes on, Luka and Kyrie are tired, and these players are still not getting open looks in the corner. They need to continue the way that they're playing defense on Luka and Kyrie, and you're not going to see those attempts happen. And then as far as the lob threat, the alley-oop threat goes, the Mavs did get a couple of them in game 2.
But still, nothing in game 1?
Nothing in game 1, and it was only, I believe, 1 or 2 alley-oop dunks. And one of them, I think, was just a breakdown in the defense. But having Jason Tatum on these bigs and the switchability that the Celtics have on ball screens has really taken the alley-oop threat out of the Mavericks' arsenal. I think if you're taking away their borderline, if not obviously, most efficient shot, which is throwing it up and the guys are dunking it down. It's gonna bode well for the Celtics because the Mavs are gonna have to take jump shots. You're gonna get late in the shot clock, and you're not gonna be able to get a comfortable, great shot out of your half-court offense.
No, I completely agree. We'll definitely have to see how key to victory number 3 pans out if Kristaps Porzingis does not play in that third game, of course, with the recent injury news that he has. But between Smitty and I's keys to victory, I mean, how could you not win? It sounds so simple. Now he's got to go out there and do it. That's the hard part. All right, here's my prediction for the Boston Celtics versus Dallas Mavericks. Game 3, I've got a good one. 107-106. I think this is going to be a lot like the Indiana Pacers road game where maybe they're not going to have the lead the entire time. It's going to give me heart palpitations, let me tell you. But I do feel like the Mavericks are due for a really close game. But I do still feel like the Celtics have just a little bit more juice. They have a little bit more skill. They have a little bit better players in order to take the win home. But boy, oh boy, it may not be pretty. So I've got a 1-point ball game. Just completely diminishes all the Mavericks fans. As you can hear an eruption of, goes across American Airlines. And then Boston, of course, cheers. Smitty, what's your prediction, my guy?
I'm going somewhere similar. The Celtics in this postseason have been allowing opponents to score under 100 points for, I'd say, at least 3 out of 4 games that they play in this postseason. So I'm going Celtics 102-99, right there at that 100-point mark. And with the potential without Kristaps Porzingis in Game 3, you're going to need to lock up on defense because he provides so much rim protection and just a different element for the Celtics on the defensive side of the basketball. So everybody else is going to have to really step up on that end and hopefully keep the Mavs under 100 points. If you keep the Mavs under 100 points, I can't see a way in which Boston doesn't come out with this game, but I do think this will be the closest game of the series so far. Give me Celtics 102-99.
I feel the exact same way. I feel like a close game is finally on the horizon. We'll see what the Celtics have to do tonight in Game 3, but I want to know what you guys are doing for Game 3. And if the answer is not hanging out with us on Celtics Today by Chat Sports, then you need to make it hanging out with us on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. All right, Like this video if you guys are joining our Celtics Today show live tonight. We got some good drinks, got some good raffles, and I want you guys to be there to help celebrate possibly a Game 3 win. As always, hit that sub button for me. That way you guys know anything and everything about your Boston Celtics.